Welcome to the Sound Surfer Studio stream. This is going to be the third or fourth one, I think, and it's just me. Going to be playing some music and hanging out. I'm only going to do a short one just because I started up some summer school and I grossly underestimated how much work it was gonna take. So I got a bit of homework to do after this. So I'm only gonna hang out for like a half hour. It's just me. So yeah, let's dive in. Got my guitar. Practicing. I've had a couple of gigs this past week. So I've got my fingers feeling pretty loose. What I love about guitar is the way that you can take a chord progression and do so much. I guess you could do it with just about any instrument, but just the tone of guitar just really speaks to me. So let's let's take like we'll do a simple chord progression, just like a 2-chord progression. Actually, I have a perfect one already. So this is something I wrote a while ago and it's called Head Bob. It's 2 chords, the passing chord, and I'll get into that in just a second here. So I'm going to play through it first. I'm also see. I have the second camera point on my guitar, which is actually going to be a little handy here. However, I'm having a bit of issues with, I keep losing this thing, so let's. Back. No, we lost it. Oh, we're back. Cool. We got audio again. So yeah, I set up the second camera to get a closer look at what my left hand's doing on this guitar here. So what I wanted to do is I want to record the guitar bits here. So I'm going to play through it first, kind of show you this whole progression. 1, 2, 3, 4. So breaking this riff down, it's essentially 2 chords, but you notice that I had a lot of movement going on between having this open chord E major, as some people might recognize. This one is a little funky, but this is also still an E major, and I'll explain why in just a second. To our F sharp minor 7, to another F sharp minor 7, and then it walks this melody, do, do, And so it highlights, it's still in the F sharp minor. Instead of being a minor 7, it becomes a minor 6. Do, do. But because the melody part, we get that melody moving because on these chords is the highest note that you hear. And so your brain anticipates whatever your highest notes are as your melody moving. So you could take something like, let's see if I can do the. Ooh, and I haven't played that in a while. That was kind of rough, but you get the idea. Eleanor Rigby. And that's the chordal melodies. But coming back to what we were talking about, I'm going to play this back and see how it sounds. Get my headphones. Oh yeah, that was last week's thing that Des and I were messing around with, or maybe first week. It's all starting to blend together now. I don't know anymore. Yeah, so this is coming in. So yeah, E, second chord. The reason that this chord is also an E chord is because if we break down our chord into just its individual notes, we get an E, B, E, G sharp, B, E, which is E major. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to take those same notes and rearrange them. So using some octave shapes, which I'll actually, you know what, I'll pull them up on the screen. So in case you didn't know, I teach lessons as well. So where did I? Let's take a look at this. Check this out. I'm gonna get rid of my bigger self, and this way we can focus on this guy here. Ooh, that's not what we need. Go back. So this is a little chart I made. It kind of helps us with the foundations of getting comfortable with our fretboard in general. So it's based out of the cage system because it gives us these foundational blueprints that we can extend and build off of to extend into any sort of chord that we may ever come across or scale. It centers around the major scale and then it will create variations from there. But this is all major scale. And so what I'm doing here with that freaking cable. With this first chord, our E, and how it makes sense to get it over to this version of an E, is for our bass note, we're going to use this G-shape octave here. And so this is going to go where that first note is, which is on our 1, 2, 3, 4th. So we follow this like relational pattern to get to this note here, which is that note on our G string in our open E chord. So that's G sharp. That's our third of E. And then our next one, we actually skip our A string. So skipping the A string, coming on to the second note of our D string, which is E. That one's in the same chord, do. So we got G sharp, E, B, which is this, is using this octave shape. So this is where our B would be, from an A to a G string. So we got G sharp, E, B. And that alone is an inversion of that E major triad, because now we have our G sharp on the bass, and then our last note, which is another E, which is using this D shape, the root note on D going to our B string. So we put that all together, you get do. So do. I realize I do this a lot. This is because I like getting that extra vibrato of it. So this is that passing chord I was talking about. Because we have a E, and then we're walking down the bass and melody. We're kind of walking down the whole chord. So this kind of turns it into, it's like a diminished chord right there. Diminished with the 6 on the top. If we were to treat it like that. So all it is the same shape, and then all these 3 fingers move down half step. Giving us a G, E, B flat, and E flat. Which is could be a B flat suspended with a flat 5. But it's also got a sharp 5 in it. I'll look at that a little deeper and figure out an actual name, but just for the sake of time, we'll move on. The reason that I have that chord in there, though, is because it acts as this walking path, this bass note walk down to our next chord, which is a F sharp minor 7. And then same thing, this is an inversion. So we got our F sharp, E, A, C sharp, So we take our C sharp, F, A. Using that, we just move that up. Boom. So now we have a 5 in the bass. And then to get that same melody movement, we just take our pinky and move it down half a step, because then that's same as this. Da, da. So then, that's how you have the first half of Head Bob. So the reason that this is kind of relevant for this particular song is it actually brings in some of our cage shapes. So it's bouncing between 2 chords, E, with some inversions, do walk down to an E form inversion, but this one being a minor shape instead of our major. So this is like that major shape. And with this, we're moving, because this is our root, we're moving it up, so then it's having a 7th. And moving our 3rd down half a step, so then it gives us that minor sound. And that's how we turn something like F sharp major into F minor, and then flat the 7, double flat the 7. Boom. And then I just cut out that 5th right there. Boom. So there's a couple different fingerings you can use to get that. And we put the 7 on the top. Ba, 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 ba. And that's all in the E, with E form with inversions. Then we take it into like an A form, which is going to be the root on the A. So we use a lot of root on the E's. Then we're going to move to root on an A. So this is a basic major chord shape. So if we use an E, that's going to be right on the 7th fret. Do, 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 do. Since this is our octave, in order to make it, because this chord I'm highlighting as an E major 7. Do. A lot of the time I just kind of, that 5 on the top, this note is optional because we already have a 5 right in here. And since we move this up half a step, or down half a step, to get that major 7 interval, which you can see in the scale here. The reason the scale is also here is that it can help us map out some of our other tones. So we have, like, if this was our root, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 8, and 1, and then it repeats, so on. So then we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then if we were to continue, because this note here, 7, 1, and that's how these cage system things start interlocking, because then you have the chord. So if we were to take this E starting on an A and then use that same shape here, these three, to connect us into our next form, which would be a G. Down into an E, down into the D. So that's all one chord, E major. Oh yeah, and then the D lands us back into a C, which is down here. Back into that A form, just an octave up. So because it repeats, we can take that the opposite way. A goes to C, C goes to D form, D form goes to E form. And then we can use these scales alongside of it to change any of these chord shapes, these regular major ones, into major 7s, applying where we want that 7th note at. So for example, in this one again, go back through, we're using the A form, E major 7. And then if you want to make an E7, you drop this note down one more, which would give us a different scale. Instead of an Ionian mode, we get a Mixolydian. But we can get into that another time. And so this progression here, the second half, if we listen to it, so we're still in, this is the A. Oh wait, no, it wasn't. Okay, here it is. Right. Oh, I see what I had. Cool. So I'm doing that to add some variation, because while this progression mainly focuses around these two chords, I use different variations of these chords to create movement. So this is an E major 7, which takes us up into an E major 7 suspended, because we move that 3, coming back to here. A suspended is the 4th. So we come back here to use this. We have this chord shape. Well, this variation of a chord shape. Oh, what is going on? And we have this scale over top of it, and so we're gonna get this boom. 4, 4, 3. So then we can do that with the whole scale if we wanted to really get nuts. And this is combining these chord shapes with scales in order to create a whole scale. So we go E, and really the limitation to all these voicing is just how much you can stretch your fingers out. or how you want to stretch them out, because we can hear the scale. I'm gonna do that. Kind of lost my train of thought, but this is an example of how you can use different chord shapes or variations of the chord and inversions to create a major scale around a chord. But the reason that I'm talking about it now is because we wanted to use this suspended fourth and take it back to our third. Sorry, it's been a long day. Which takes us to, and now we're on our F sharp minor 7 version of. It's actually closer to a C form, and because it's a minor, it's gonna look a little bit different than this, because instead of stacking it up like this, we're gonna do a do. So it's like a 7, 9, 7, 9, 10 shape, which will bring us, if this is our 10 here, sorry, 9, that's our 9, the bass, the root, F sharp, we're gonna do, instead of having a major third, it's gonna be a minor third, and then we're gonna use our dominant 7th, which is gonna go here, so it's gonna go 1, 2, 3, and our last one, our minor third, away from our root there. So that gives us F sharp minor 7, and then F sharp minor 9 to conclude our melody movement between this progression. Anyways, that's enough about the theory. Let's see what we can add to this little lick here. So, give it a listen. Let's set this loop here. This down to the side. Let's add some bass to it. Grab my bass guitar. I just gotta redo all the levels on this. I just took this board out the other day and had a bunch of different inputs in it, so I that's fine. Does sound a little tinny. Just trying to throw down some ideas. Cool. Alright. Do I have a bass track in this thing? I think so. Alright. Oh yeah, I do. Check it out. So, let's see. And then this was changed it before. Well, let's throw something down. I'm gonna mute that guitar. It's been really buzzy today. Something more like throaty. Cool. That'll do. How we doing on time? Pretty good. Cool. See if we can try to come up with like a little harmony. So I think rhythmically that's how I wanted it to sound the first time around. So what I'm going to do is mute this, see how... I added a whole extra... took a whole note out of that. That time I just copied it. Oh yeah. I do like the way that comes out too. It's the other one. that was fun. Didn't. Well, yeah. Thank you, everyone, for joining me tonight. I gotta get into some homework. But it was nice to be able to just kind of kick it for a minute and talk a bit about guitar, mess around with this idea. What is opening? Oh, I don't need that. Go. Thank you so much. And next week we'll get back to your kind of regularly scheduled program. Des and Sierra, if you're watching this, I mean, later, obviously. I hope you guys had a great night and happy 1 year anniversary. Thanks for being awesome. As always, thank you and goodbye, everyone.